We're going to meet Terry. I said we'd meet him at the tram stop over here. So we're going to make a film with Terry about, well, it's about his passion for change, particularly around the rights of people that were in institutions. Terry was, against his will, institutionalised for years and years and years.
Is he coming?
I'm hoping he's coming. I'm just about to ring his home and then his mobile. Okay, no worries. We'll be there. So now we're going to meet him at his lockup in Port Knox in North Melbourne. He's got all his stuff that he'd left over from the 1980s, from all his time being involved in the disability movement, in storage here, and lots of other stuff, cables, old 1980s computer bits, poems, minutes from group meetings, lots and lots. It's treasure trove, I'm thinking.
Is he coming?
He's coming. Here comes Terry. He's stopped for a little rest. It's a fair old walk for him. Hey Terry, how you feeling?
All right.
Alright?
Oh, out of breath.
Yeah, beautiful. Did you come here often?
Haven't been in for a week. Wait till you see what I've got in here.
No, I can't wait. I've been waiting to see him here for a very long time. Holy moly.
All my worldly goods and chattels.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm not putting it much in anymore. It was worse than this. It was right up to here. Right back. But I've taken a lot of stuff out.
How long in total do you think you were in boys' homes and institutions and
Well, altogether.
altogether?
I got out when I was nearly turned 25.
What was it like? Full of life?
Oh, I was in that ward there, mate, the intractable ward. That's where they put the worst of the worst. According to them, I was a pain in the you-know-where.
Why do you think they thought that?
Because I didn't cut it. You know, I wasn't going to play their little medical model games. And I was out to throw a spanner in their works.
How did you fight against the system being in the institution? What was your sort of protest being there? How did you do it?
Oh, well, you know, as all their reports on me in my medical records, which I've got here, and in the psychiatrist reports and the nursing notes and that, and they claimed that I was grossly mentally retarded. Some of them said I was a schizophrenic, and some reckon I had mood swings, like, you know, personality disorders. And I didn't know they were writing all this garbage up about me when I was in there. It was only when I got out and many years later when I was able to obtain my medical records through the Freedom of Information from the health department that I went through them and that, and I nearly fell off the chair laughing.
Oh, I was going to say, how did it make you feel? I thought you would have been angry, no?
Oh, I was angry, you know, I was angry for what all the crap they wrote up about me, but none of it was true. It was just all codswallop, you know.
So it really was that you were someone that was not going to buckle
No.
to them, and you felt the injustice of being there? And
Yeah,
all
oh, yeah.
What age did you first go into an institution?
What,
Boys' home.
Well, before I went into boys' homes, I was in a baby's home. I was only about, I was just not long out of babyhood, about 3 and a half or something. I can show you, that's how young I was when I was first put in. My mother was the main instigator, so my mother was not a very good mother. She didn't know how to be a mother, you know. She was never trained, you know. Well, the first place I was in I can remember it was Mrs. Minton's Infant Welfare Centre, and that was down, I think, in Frankston somewhere, Frankston or Mornington. I was there for a little while, and then they moved me on to the Salvation Army Boys Home in Box Hill.
How was that?
Well, I was about 4 years old, I think, 4, or a little bit over 4.
So what was Sandhurst?
Oh, Sandhurst is a place for probably for mildly intellectually disabled people, kids and that, you know. There was a mixture of kids and adults together, all bunged in together.
What was it like?
And, well, up till then I didn't know. I'd never seen anyone with, you know, with behaviour in inverted commas, like mentally retarded, what they used to call, dare I say that word, bite my tongue. And I told them there, I said, I'm not going to stay here. I said, what's wrong with all these other people and kids and that? I said, and they said, oh, you know, patronising me, and they said, you'll be right, son, you go in and fit in with them. And I said, no, I said, there's nothing wrong with me. I said, I'm not staying here, I said. And I told Mum and Dad, I said, no, I said, let's go home, I said. And they said, no, you can't come home. And I said, well, I'm not staying here. I said, and that's final. And then a couple of the staff come to realise that I wasn't going to toe the line. So they put me in the rubber room, which is like a padded cell.
How was that? You were young. How did it feel?
Oh, I was only about, I don't know, 12, 13, something. They brought me meals into me, you know, and I was locked up there for a few days. You know, that's what they wanted to do, get me used to the place. And but I wasn't going to, as you said before, buckle under.
Buckle under. And after Sandhurst, where did you go?
Well, I was at Sandhurst for probably about 16 or 18 months, and because I kept running away and nicking off, and police were bringing me back, so they made arrangements at Arrowdale to send me up to Arrowdale, well, where the discipline was more stricter, you know.
It would have been scary as a young boy going to Arrowdale.
Yeah. Well, I was only about, just before I turned 15, on my 15th birthday.
Yeah, you spent time in J Ward?
Yeah, I spent a few months up there. Yeah, they threw me in with the criminally insane, you know, men who had been in trouble with the police outside, and they couldn't convict them or charge them in the court of law because they were mentally not well, you know. So that's where they sent them.
Was that scary?
It was, yeah.
Is that the worst of them all, do you think?
I got sexually molested in there as a young teenage adolescent, and then when the reason they put me in J Wood, because when I first went to Arrowdale, one of the charge nurses in Ward N2, that's the intractable ward at Arrowdale, the lock-up ward, he whacked me right across the face, you know, and because I'd done me block, you know, and I flew into him and punched the living crap out of him, you know, kicked him in the, you know, between where the sun don't shine. And then someone, one of the patients yelled out down the other end of the ward to some of the staff. They said, there's a fight up the other end of the ward. So some of the psych nurses come running up and they grabbed me and oh Jesus, did they make an example of me? And they threw me in one of the cells, and they brought it, one of the other nurses brought in a big hypodermic needle, and they shoved it in me backside, in me buttocks, and they knocked me out for a couple of days.
How did you get to leave Kalula finally at 25?
It was on a Sunday, late Sunday afternoon, and see, I was allocated the job to take all the bed covers off the dormitory beds, fold them up and take them down and put them in the linen room, which ran down along the back veranda. And just outside that door, the first old cell that's where the linen room was. When I opened it up and I stopped and I looked, and the linen room door was already open, and there was pass keys still in the hanging from the door. And I stopped and I looked. I thought, oh, what an opportunity! I thought, here's a go, you know. And I could hear someone in the linen room because I could hear some scuffling noises, and I heard him cough, you know, a sort of a slight cough. Must be one of the staff in there. So I gently put the quilts I had in my hand down on the bed, which was just right near the door, and I had to walk down 2 or 3 steps to the veranda, and then when I got to the door I just slammed the linen room door shut, and I quickly locked it and double locked it over. And
did you lock them in?
Yeah, I locked him in, but he couldn't get out because, you see, in those old cells there's no keyholes on the inside. So it was...
I bet you enjoyed. Did you enjoy doing that? Locking a staff member up?
Yeah. When I locked him in, and I grabbed the key and I went, yes, like that, you know. And straight away I ran down the other end of the veranda and turned left where the bathroom was, and on the right was the back door that goes out to the back parts of the ward. And from there I just ran across the paddocks, and I thought to myself, oh, hang on, what am I doing? I thought every time I've escaped from here I've always gone to Melbourne, down to the city. And I said, every time I've been damn caught, either by the cops, you know, or the screws, you know, the site nurses. I thought, no, not this time. I'm going the other way.
Which way did you go?
I went right over the Calder Highway, which goes up through Woodend and Gisborne, but I didn't travel along the road while it was daylight. I went way over in the paddocks and through some bush part. Now, I kept right off the highway. When it became dark, I knew I'd be safe to walk back, to get back out on the highway, and when I got back out on the highway I started hitchhiking, you know, and not straight away, but later on some guy in a big truck came past, and he pulled up, and was I glad to hear them air brakes come on.
So you're on your way to freedom?
Yeah, so he said, where you going, lad? I said, I'm going up to Shepparton, you know, and Maroopna area, because I knew it was getting close to the fruit picking period, you know.
Did you harbour feelings of anger for what had been done to you? Are you resentful to society or the community?
Yeah, I still hold a lot of bitterness, because when I got out of Cooloo, I came out a very embittered man, and because, you know, as I've often told you and other people, you know, I had all my childhood and all my teenage years and my early part of my 20s stolen from me. See, I had high hopes and high expectations of going on to high school later on. And who knows, later on I could have gone on to uni.
Terry spent the first 25 years of his life in and out of different children's homes and institutions. He's been an activist and an advocate since the early 1970s. The first group he was involved with was CAPIC, the Campaign Against Psychiatric Injustice and Coercion. When CAPIC folded, he started the militant group CAVTIV, Coalition Against Forced Treatment and Institutionalised Violence. He was also involved in People for Equality, not institutionalisation. He was actively involved in demonstrations to close institutions in the 1980s. He is passionate about the need to close all children's homes, and he is a long-time member of Reinforce, a self-advocacy group run by and for people with disabilities. He takes every opportunity to tell his story because he wants to make sure no one else has to go through what he went through.